in the thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This is my city, yeah, this is my team. If you talking, it's all to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, I'm a champion. This is my team. If you talking, it's all to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, I'm a champion.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to YSN Live for this Friday, April 4th, 2025. DJ Yoakley, Anthony Hartwig with you, and we got a great show for you. Katie Koulianos from the Ursuline Lady Irish going to join us in about 25 minutes, and she's going to talk about her story, which, Anthony, you said she's going on to Otterbein to play some softball, one of the best softball players in the entire valley. And, you know, I feel like she's been around, one of those players have been around for 8 years instead of 4, you know, because her name's in seemingly every write-up that we do on YSN. So exciting stuff. Can't wait to talk to Katie. Can't wait to break things down with Did you see the comments already?
Oh, my gosh.
Hemi's in there talking about Canada because he's a real Canadian. There it is. Enjoy it, buddy. The Maple Leafs. The old Maple Leafs.
Good old Maple Leafs.
We had some baseball and softball being played last night, my friend.
We did. We dodged some raindrops, got some games in.
And
if you go over to the scoreboard
and then
on ysnlive.com at ysnlive.com/scores, which is presented by our good friends and wonderful sponsors, Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs. You can see some of the scores that we got in. I was at Boardman. Now, I did get hit with some rain, so I had to end the broadcast, but they did get the game in. They were able to beat Hoban 2-0, and a great pitching performance from Torrey Strines and a defensive performance from the defense. I mean, there was a lot of contact, a lot of balls put in play by the Knights, and Boardman's defense seemed to be pretty much everywhere, keeping them quiet the whole night. That's back-to-back games where Hoban has struggled against quality pitching. They got shut out on Wednesday night against Louisville as well. So their offense trying to find a rhythm, and Boardman's offense, you know, probably not a night that Fred Moots is going to write home about on the offensive side, but they did just enough, scratch across 2 runs to give Torrey Strines a little bit of that support. And the defense and the pitching did the job for Boardman. 2-0, they get the win over Hoban. That's a big win for the Spartans.
So when did you have to cut the broadcast last night? I guess most people want to know.
Top of the third was when it started. It was like drizzling, and then once it started to be like a steady light rain, and I looked at the radar actually, and it was like heavy stuff is coming. So I was like, well, we better protect everything. And then the heavy stuff never really came. It was a persistent light rain. It wasn't. I wouldn't call it a drizzle. It was a persistent, this kind of light rain the whole night. Unfortunately, I didn't have an umbrella or anything to kind of broadcast while I was holding up an umbrella. I wish I could have like a little awning or something that I could put over the equipment while it was raining like that. But
you know, like a press box.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. Come on,
hey Fred, come on,
Fred. But to each its own. We have to protect the equipment. That's how it goes. But I did stay for post-game interviews, so you can still find those on the website along with the write-up. Interviews with Torrey Strines, Alex Ward, and Fred Moots and the coaching staff as well for Boardman. So, you know, we still got the game in, which is the most important thing in the world. And we still got some athletes, some limelight on the post-game interviews. Some other games that got in, Garfield got the 1-run victory over Kent Roosevelt, 4-3. Big win for the G-Men.
G-Man.
Battle of 224. The Canfield Cardinals doubled up Poland 8-4. In that game, Poland took a 1-0 lead, a home run from Cassie Blanche, but then Canfield took a 7-1 lead after that. Then Poland fought a little bit back to make it 8-4 before it was all said and done. We saw Columbiana get the win over Salem 9-0 on softball. Austintown Fitch picked up a game against Jackson Milton, 13-3. The Falcons won against the Blue Jays. I think that's going to be a really good lesson builder for Jackson Milton. They'd be able to go up and play a Division I Austintown Fitch team and see that level of softball. They still hit, Brendan McBeth hit a home run. So their offense had some success against Fitch pitching. So that's going to give them a little bit of kind of, okay, this is where we're at as far as our level of softball as they continue to go into league play today. They're playing
Jefferson.
Springfield if that game stands.
Oh, I was thinking about Austintown. I'm sorry. I saw Jefferson's playing Fitch, right?
Yeah. If
Today
they
or
pick,
tomorrow?
I think today Ursuline goes to Fitch, but I know
Okay.
that Jefferson was trying to pick up a game with Fitch as well. Western Reserve, this is a good story because Western Reserve kind of put this team together with duct tape. At the middle of the season, Steve Miller kind of saw the need for just having a team this year. Did some recruiting in the hallways, got some people involved from the basketball team that haven't played softball since they were in like 12U. Some members, Quincy Miller and Kylie Ramsey, and others just kind of came out just to have a team. They knew the importance of just putting a team out on the field so this program didn't lose a year of softball. And they stepped up with a win last night, 21-2 over East Blue Devils. So congratulations to them. I know that means a lot to that program, and I know they're trying to just embrace this year. They know they don't have the talent maybe that other teams have, but they just want to just have fun and make sure that this program doesn't go a year without softball. On the baseball side of things, some games we got in. Austintown Fitch was able to beat Mooney 4-0. This was a pitcher's duel, though. Through 5, it was scoreless. Mooney was able to scratch across 2 runs in both the 6th and the 7th to earn the win. But Fitch and Mooney both pitched really well, especially their starters in this game. Mooney does get that win 4-0. You can find a write-up and interviews with, I believe, Otis and the Ed Reese for Mooney. Ty Bartel did a good job with that, so that will be on our website if you're interested in that write-up. Cheney and Campbell played a really high-scoring game, 16-12. The Cowboys get the win. Lisbon gets the win over Malvern at home, 10-4. That's a 10-4, good buddy. Hammer down. 7-0 Lake Center Christian gets the win over Heartland Christian. Boardman falls to Bristol. I'm sorry, that's Conneaut. Wrong Spartan. Saw Spartan, but Conneaut falls to Bristol, 14-3. Let's see what else we got in. I think Gerard played McDonald. McDonald won. 8-6.
I only seen the Ben Otis interview on the Mooney write-up.
Garfield got the win over Mogador, 8-9-5. Did I forget to copy and paste that? It's definitely on our YouTube page.
There you go.
And if I forgot to put that in the article, I can get that in real quick.
It's okay.
Mogador did fall to Garrettsville Garfield 9-5. Working 9 to 5. 13-1. Howland got the lead over West Branch. That game was suspended due to rain in the middle of the third. So because it's not a complete game yet, they might still have to finish that to make it a official final. And Boardman went on the road and beat Massillon 4-0.
Okay.
DJ, you were able to do the write-up on that one.
We're going to talk about that one because, again, Boardman had another night. Softball wins, baseball wins, tennis wins. I mean, but one of the things that didn't make it into the article that if you go back and if you're a nerd for statistics like I am when it comes to baseball and softball, Colin Resitar threw an absolute gem. 2-hitter. I think he had 6 strikeouts. And one of the things that caught my attention, and I was lucky enough to have Scott, Colin's dad, send me everything, and he didn't have any, no strings attached to it. It was 21 batters faced. 21 batters faced. So basically, he faced the minimum from that standpoint. 7 innings times 3, 21. I mean, when
we
you
can do that math.
Dominance. Hey, that's my kind of math right there. I don't even need Siri for that. So I was waiting to see if she was popping up. She listens to everything we say now. But anyway, this Boardman team, folks, impressive. And they're young and relatively young. They're not freshmen, sophomores and juniors. But you've got some senior leadership on that team. You've got another round of kids coming up that are going to be uber talented. I really am interested, as I always am, in the AAC when it comes to the diamond sports, man. We talked about softball, how great softball is going to be in the AAC. I think baseball is going to be just as good. I think it is going to be a knockdown, drag 'em out fight every night when you're talking about games in this conference, because guess what? You got Boardman, the early sleeper, the early shocker, the Howland freaking Tigers. Wow. Did you see what they did last night? Britt Taylor and the whole crew, they put West Branch on notice.
Yeah.
Was it 13-1? Did I say
13-1 in the top of the third?
I mean, wow. Wow. That's the state champion, returning state champions. And you've got a Howland Tiger program, and I'm just going to put it out there. Britt Taylor, who is a dear friend of all of ours here at YSN, one of our colleagues, as a matter of fact, he has some kind of leadership magic that he has turned that program around. He was the manager of the prospects. He is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Bottom, we got.
Is it bottom third?
It's the bottom of the third. Okay. I was trying to do the write-up last night, and it was still live. So
Yeah,
it was driving me insane. But you look at what Howland's been able to do, what and I cannot wait. I told him last night, anytime, anywhere I want to talk to him, and I have so many questions. But he's a humble human being. But I can tell you what I think he's going to say is, I put great people around me, and the kids are working very hard. And he has an unorthodox. I think if you remember last year, they did like a social media thing where they were playing in the gym because of all the rainouts, and they had wiffle ball and stuff like that the kids are having fun. And I think that's a big part and a big miss, quite honestly, with a lot of sports these days. These are games. These are games. This is not a business trip. These are games, and these kids have to have fun. And Britt Taylor, oh man, he's got these Tigers having a lot of fun right now.
Yeah, and their offense right now is seeing beach balls because they went to Austintown Fitch, who proved last night they can pitch pretty well. They scored 17 runs on Fitch in a 17-4 win not too long ago. They go to West Branch, who we all know it can also pitch pretty well, and they got 13 runs through 3 innings. So, yeah, this Howland team, especially on the offensive side, they got something dangerous cooking.
Of course, Retsatar goes right to, does that mean we're going to have live coverage for all the AAC conference games? Calm down, Rezzy. Calm down, okay? It's a numbers game right now. And oh, by the way, we don't know if we're playing tonight. We have no idea. Because here's the struggle, and nobody wants to hear me cry. But the real struggle is if you have someone that comes out on a Thursday night, a Friday night, right, and you get rained out, you're probably not getting them back for Friday night if your game gets moved. It's such a challenge, man. It is, and I get it. The parents are in the same boat. Athletic directors are in the same boat. But these guys are they get paid. They're professionals. So when they go to broadcast a game and it gets canceled or rained out, that's money off of their table, out of their bank account. So it's frustrating for all of us. And I was just having this conversation with another coach. It is a numbers game for us. And we have 7, 8 tops guys that are going out and doing games. So, we're doing the best we can. And obviously now, personally juggling the schedule of baseball practice for my little guy, we got to make sure that we make all those ends meet. So hopefully my wife lets me out tonight so I can go out and play. It's just one of those things. You just never know. You're juggling schedules, and 5 o'clock starts are a bit challenging. They are a bit challenging. 7 o'clock games, if we were all under the lights, guess what? We'd have a lot more people to broadcast. But 5 o'clock, a lot of people aren't even done work yet. So we'll see how it goes. Even
earlier when you go into I was like, hey, I'll go to a PA game this year. They start at 4:15. I was like, no way. Can't make that one.
I mean, I could get there and be beneficial, but again, we're living it. Cartman. You can figure it out, Cartman. Okay. All right.
All right. I don't get it.
Must be a Canadian joke. Must have been funny up there.
Is that South Park reference?
I think so. I don't know. I don't get it. Whatever. Hamburgers hit and miss. Hit and miss. Let's. I mean, I mentioned Howland being a sleeper, and I hope they don't take offense to that. But who's been a team that has surprised you out of the gates early this year, Ant? That you're really kind of interested to see how it plays out this year for them.
We were talking about them off the air a little bit and on the air a little bit. Springfield softball coming in hot. They got a big win last night over Struthers. He was, one of those ones where you look and you say, this Springfield team's not just winning but dominating. And I think a team that won 2 wins total last year, already at 2 wins this year, they're turning some things around. They got some young talent that kind of put their foot in the ground and said, we're going to do something different. McKenna Weimer's having a heck of a freshman season so far.
Sorry,
has
McKenna.
a no-hitter under her belt. And now a big offensive performance last night. I mean, this Tigers team is a little bit different than last year. They're trying to change things around. Not too long ago, it was a really high-end program that was winning a lot of games. So they're trying to get right back to that standard.
I also want to apologize to McKenna because apparently I put the wrong picture up. I saw Springfield number 4. Check the she's a freshman, so that wouldn't be her. So I think it was her mom who reached out to us, and she's very gracious and patient because she sent us a picture and we were able to flip that. So to all of you badasses out there on Instagram, we appreciate you. we know we took a misstep. It was also midnight when we were putting that up. So, not that has anything to do with it.
Happens
I'm not
to
a
the best
victim.
of us, guys.
Hey, listen, when you pump out stories like we did last night, good luck getting them all right. Good luck. I'm getting blown up. All right.
We're still batting 950.
Yeah, I mean,
get most of them right.
Hey, she had a heck of a game.
She did.
And it's as easy as flipping out a picture. There are worse tragedies in the world.
I know.
And we're proud of her.
Yeah.
Well, the name's in the thing, so so we're good. It's just a little bit of a slip up, but we'll take that. It was a long day yesterday. Long day. I like, who else I really like as a sleeper is, we talked about Howland. I don't know if Boardman constitutes a sleeper. I think that everybody has this level of, hey, Boardman's going to be there. Canfield's going to be there. Struthers, dude. Struthers baseball. The juice is loose. They beat up on the Springfield Tigers yesterday. And boy, oh boy.
That was a day after they beat Lakeview too.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. Juice has them playing some ball. Now, the question is always, in baseball especially, is how far can your arms take you? And, right now, coaches, even though they complain a little bit about the weather, the arms are being saved. They're being preserved. I mean, they're pickled, essentially, because you're putting them in a can and all of a sudden we've got extra, but it throws it off. Like you want to if you can get your guy 5 days rest, you're in a real great spot. I don't think these kids are getting 5 days rest. I don't think there's a chance in Demon City that these kids are getting 5 days rest from start to start. We saw Colin close out a game on, it was earlier this week. I want to say it was Wednesday and then started on Thursday. It might have been Tuesday and Thursday. Either way, these kids, their arms have to be preserved. And OHSA has made it official that we're going to make sure that the kids are safe and the arms are safe. Pitch counts, everything's through. Well, almost everything's through Game Changer. But, you've got to look at this and really be able to juggle. And with these rainouts, it helps. I really do think it helps the kids. It helps the coaches from a standpoint of strictly arms. Now, the bullpens that you have to throw to make sure your arm's on time and, your body's getting ramped up and taken care of and you're doing things properly. That is the old proverbial curveball because like you can't throw 13 bullpens a week and do things the way you want to do. And we're going to get rain. We're supposed to get rain tonight. We might make the games, might be able to get through the games, but tomorrow, rain, Sunday, rain, Monday, rain, like rain,
Tuesday,
rain. Snow. Yeah. Like not good. But, I think that, a lot of these rodeos aren't the first ones for these coaches and these kids. And, by the time you're a senior and the time you're a veteran coach, you understand how to kind of utilize this. Us lowly announcers, we have the same conversations every year. Like, oh my gosh, how did they do it?
This might be the worst spring I've ever seen. And then someone comes over and hits us in the head last spring.
Hey, idiots.
Here's a guess, probably next spring.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to start the year like this. But, I mean, we're getting some games in. And, I saw yesterday, I believe it was Lisbon moved their game up to 4:30. We talked about that. Being able to kind of, move and wiggle these games and have that latitude to do it. Now, one of the things we talk about during football and basketball season is the length of travel. And, a lot of times in baseball and softball, the length of travel is just the same, if not worse. And that goes into how games are canceled or postponed or even played. Because, if it's scheduled to rain at about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, you might want to move that game up so you get more of it in. So it at least becomes official. So that way you don't have to reschedule, because we know how big of a bear that can be to athletic directors and other people's lineups.
And then also we've seen a couple of times this year how much beneficial it can be to have football turf, because we've seen a lot of teams, especially softball, hey, we can't play on our field right now, but it's not raining at the moment. Let's just shift over to our football field and play on that turf and get getting games in, trying to get as many games in as possible. So when you have that ability to utilize that, we've seen East Liverpool use their football field. Middle Ridge has used their football field. Obviously, Camel plays on their football field most of the time. Niles as well. So when you're able to just kind of, Niles has turf at Waddle Park now anyway, but when you're able to kind of use that turf, I mean, Fitch was kind of the one that came out and said, we have turf, we can play all the time. But now it seems like more teams are kind of getting that idea that we can just play on the football turf when we have to and get games in.
Well, the majority of them do have that corner that has the home plate, built into it. It's I'll be the first to tell you, it's an interesting look to play on a football field, because
it is
the amount of screens, like the hit screens and that you got to put up. It is
and you have to put the tearaway, you have to put the breakaway fence, of course, but it's really like when I went to Middle Ridge earlier this year and they couldn't play on the field, so they moved to the football field. And it was like, it took like an extra half an hour to set up everything and transition from one that was playing on the softball field, moved to the football field. So they might have started like a half an hour later than they wanted to, but it seemed like a pretty convenient kind of, okay, we're just going to do this and get this game in. It wasn't like it was something that took an hour and a half to set up. So I think if you have the opportunity to do that, you should definitely take it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, just to get them in, and that's the important thing, is to get these games in as scheduled. They're scheduled for a reason, right? You don't just schedule them to cancel them. You schedule them for a reason, and obviously you get behind the eight ball with multiple cancellations during a week, especially, and it can clog up the gutter down the road. I mean, you're talking about, I think we talked about it yesterday, being able to play games the way you want to play them in the postseason. You don't want to be making up games for conference championships when you're in the midst of your postseason run, especially in baseball, because that'll ruin your pitching.
I'm probably going to see a lot of that,
because then you got to weigh it out, right? What's more important, a district title or a conference title?
I think all coaches would say district, and then they'd be like, hey,
coaches
what?
Coaches would, but what do the parents say? We want a conference title.
Well, the parents aren't deciding who throws and who doesn't.
Or are they?
Bum,
dun,
bum,
dun,
bum.
I think this is going to be an ugly. I mean, unless we can get some sun, and judging by the snow forecast on Channel 21 and Storm Tracker 21, buddy, next week ain't going to be pretty. It ain't going to be pretty. So buckle up, sports fans. And I mean, track meets can't be much better. That's got to suck,
but,
right?
But track. They'll run anything though, as long as it's not lightning or dangerous weather. They'll be like, oh, let's go. Snow, who cares? Let's just go run.
Can you imagine running on snow, a snowy track?
No. There are people that can't even walk on snow.
Okay.
Much less run on it.
So definitely district title more from Scott Resitar, which is interesting.
At the end of the day, district title gets you one step closer to state. What does the conference championship get you other than a little piece on a banner in the gym?
I mean, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here and make our show interesting. But like, here's the thing.
There's that moment that like if a team hasn't won a conference championship in like 25 years or something, they're going for it. And then that situation pops up. That's where it gets kind of dicey.
Or you've got one team that's out of the postseason, right? They're still battling for a conference championship.
Yep.
You have a team that's still in the postseason, and they throw their 2 or 3, and the other team throws their 1. They win the conference championship. You go on and lose in the district championship game. You had a chance to win a championship and a championship game, and you couldn't put your best foot out there. Like, that's the frustration. I guess it's not, would you rather win this one? I think naturally the weight, the levity of a district championship is obviously a lot more than the conference. But this is what you're going to I guarantee you we're going to see this down the stretch. And some coaches going to have to make a decision.
If you flip it and you throw the number 1 against a team that's already out of the postseason, and then you lose the district championship because you threw your number 1 and won the conference championship, though, what does that look like?
That's it.
How does that,
lose? I mean, this goes back to when we started doing these games in 2018 when South Range was winning a championship, and you had a scenario where you had Jake Gehring pitching the game to get you to the championship for South Range. And what was it? Sam
Brooks.
Sam Brooks was pitching the championship game, right? And then, do you make that flip? Do you like who gets the games and who puts the levity on how important they are? That's the biggest question. And we're going to get to a point. Softball, I don't think it's as risky because you're pitching the same pitchers the majority of the time.
Yep.
And they're doing studies, and I saw a little blurb about the studies they're doing on softball and the effects of pitching now. So we might be seeing a pitch count after all.
Yeah, there might be like it won't be as strict as baseball, but there might be like hey, you can't pitch 300 pitches in the span of 2 days. Like we can't do that anymore.
No. We have a special visitor in the green room. Would you like to do the honors, Mr. Hartwig?
In the green, wearing green for Ursuline and the Irish, and it is one of the best softball players that we have in the Valley, going to play at the next level next year, and we'll talk about that and more. It is Katie Koulianos from Ursuline.
Hi.
Katie!
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking time out for us today. Well, it's not raining yet. The sun's kind of.
I know. It looks nice out. It's kind of cloudy though.
we were just having the conversation about the challenges of playing and mentally getting prepared for a game when you might get canceled. Weeks like this, days like this, how do you keep yourself mentally prepared and locked in?
So like on like rain delays or like games that we get canceled, we personally I stay through a routine every day. So my routine before school, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I work out for an hour before school. And then depending if we have practice or a game, I usually go to the gym again after school. And then obviously I hit on the tee at home. Like I have a whole setup in the garage and just working on the mechanics. Cause I feel like those days are good days to make sure you're using that time to like work on something that you really need to work on.
Now to start the season, you guys got to escape the weather here in Northeast Ohio, go a little bit more south and play some softball to open the season. What was that like to open the season? And I have no games before that, and have that be the one that kind of got things going.
I thought Tennessee was a great trip. There was the fields were beautiful, and I thought as a team we played decent, and we learned what we need to work on. There's a lot of positives, and I just think that like making sure that we finish the game fully is what we need to work on. Because like we lost some of those games by like one run and the international tiebreaker, and those games those are like the games that suck because you lose those by like 1 point, you know.
What for you? I mean, your leadership has changed over the last 4 years. Obviously, when you
Mhm.
came into the lineup, what was it like for you? Were you nervous? And then how has that leadership become to be who you are today? And everybody looks to you in those big moments during those big ball games.
My leadership, well, obviously my freshman year, my leadership was different because I was just like working to get my spot earned. And then as like I started starting and stuff, my leadership has been strong, and I always push my girls to just practice hard and take the game seriously because there's people out there that want to play at the next level and take these games seriously. So even if we have a bad game, we should always be reflecting how we play and making sure that we're all just getting along. And that's the best thing that a team could do is just get along and making sure that we are supporting each other.
We've heard from Coach Dugan and members of the community that this team this year just feels a little bit different. Like there's a different mindset in this Ursuline softball program this year. Can you talk what you see from that, from your perspective, how much the culture kind of is a little bit different this year than years past?
Yeah, we have two seniors this year, which is Kenzie and I. And so we're really looking forward to the underclassmen to even step up because we have leaders on the team. We have so much talent, and we're just looking forward to making sure everyone brings that energy and continues throughout the season.
So what are the expectations? I mean, for you look at, you're leaving a legacy here, kiddo. When you look at the way you want to go out, what do you envision in your mind?
I mind like are we talking about like college or like just
Oh,
like
just high school. Just high
oh
school at this point. Sorry.
so I want to finish the senior season, making sure that I leave like a big impact on these girls and have a great season, like winning and just enjoying the last ride before I leave for college.
And as we transition into that college, I want to give you the chance to tell people who might not know where you're going, where that decision was made, and where you'll be spending the next 4 years of your softball career.
I'm going to Otterbein University. It's in Westerville, Ohio. So it's in Columbus, and I'm going to be playing for Coach Anderson. I'm really excited for the opportunity, and I'm really glad that he recruited me. He said that he recruited me for, as a person and as a player. He looks for girls that have a lot of athleticism and not just for like a position. He wants to recruit players that are able to play multiple positions.
It's a different world in the recruitment process right now. What was the recruitment process like for you personally? What did you like? What didn't you like? And what if you could go and tell someone else that's going through the recruitment process for softball, what are some of the important things that you learned?
I think the recruiting process for me was a little stressful, but also I feel like everything worked out the way I wanted it to. I really think that going on overnighters and meeting the coach and going on multiple visits is what you should do during the recruiting process, because I feel like that really lowers it down to like which schools you'll like the best. Like you'll like the campus and the coaches, the girls, and just having that overnighter, spending time with your future teammates is really important. And the best advice I can give is to start the recruiting process early, because then and to get yourself looked at and just relax because like it is stressful.
Everyone kind of says there's that moment where they realize this is where I'm meant to be when they're doing the recruiting process. What was that moment for you when you kind of realized like Otterbein was where I wanted to be?
That moment was my last overnight visit with them, and I love the area. I love the girls, and Coach Anderson, Coach Bucci, and Coach Sammy were just amazing, and they really were patient, and I fell in love with the campus and the whole academic and softball team.
What's the one thing you're going to miss most? I know we're in the early stages of this softball season. What are some of the things you're going to miss most about Ursuline softball and your teammates?
I'm gonna miss that mentality always, just to win, because Ursuline always had that mentality to win, because we have a bunch of great athletic teams on at Ursuline, and just wearing that green and gold and representing Ursuline on and off the field, and just all the good memories we've had at trips and with the girls. And my favorite memories are the close games that we win, and everyone's hyped, and the high energy that we have.
One thing that everyone in the area knows about Ursuline is the tradition they have. I mean, you can go outside of Youngstown and say Ursuline, then people kind of know who you're talking about, because it's that kind of high school. What's it like to be a part of such a tradition and to have one more year to represent that culture, represent that tradition as an Ursuline Irish?
The traditions are wonderful. We do like prayer before game, and we all just support each other. And I just think that Ursuline's such a different school from other schools. Like, we're just one big family, and that's what I really love about it.
Let's take it off the field for a minute. I mean, obviously, we're excited. We're so proud of you for what you've been able to do and accomplish on the softball diamond. But off the field, what are some of the things that you love, that you look forward to kind of let your hair down a little bit when you want to have fun with your friends, or just kind of get away from the game?
One thing that I love doing is working out. I work out 7 days a week, some days, 2 times a day. But I start off my morning at 4:30, and I love working out. I love spending time with my family and friends, love shopping, and just going to concerts, like having fun.
You work so hard. What are the off days like? Like what when you're able to treat yourself? What's the thing that you like to treat yourself for?
Cheat meals.
Yeah.
I like a sweet, maybe maybe ice cream. Yeah.
Okay, all right. We're going down this avenue with ice cream. What kind of ice cream is it? What's the go-to? Is it Handles? Is it something else? Like, do you like DQ? What is it?
I do like Handles. I like the peanut butter brownie flavor.
You got Anthony with that one. You got Anthony. Anthony's licking his chops for peanut butter brownie, apparently. I guess
I'm hungry.
One of the most important questions as someone who works out a lot, right, is always, do you skip leg day?
No.
Never skip leg day. That a boy,
Nope.
Katie. That a girl, Katie.
Tuesdays are the leg days.
Tuesdays are leg day. Okay, so what is there's always that one workout that you hate, you just despise, you don't want to do it, but you feel so much better after you get past it. What's that one workout that you do not like looking at on that sheet, that prep sheet?
Burpees. And Coach Ward, his wife Melody, is my trainer at Body Temple, and she really is the greatest trainer, and she knows that we all hate burpees.
So that means if you have a good game tonight against Coach Ward, you gotta make sure that you let him know that his wife's the reason why.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a whole conversation going on in the chat about ice cream now. The new sticky fingers from Handles. Here we go. Way to go, Katie. Getting it all cranked up. Last question from me. You have all this ambition, obviously playing ball at the next level. What are some of the things that you hope to accomplish in your professional career as you continue to develop?
I just hope to make friends and just have fun out there playing the game that I love, because softball's not going to be my whole rest of my life. It's going to be the next 4 years, and I just want to enjoy it and just be happy doing it and making great friendships on and off the field.
After those 4 years, what's the plan for you?
I'm going to do business, and I want to do medical sales. That's my
ching ching.
Yeah.
She wears the green. She's getting that green pretty soon.
Buddy, she's waking up at 4:30 in the morning. She's going to do a lot of sales by the new
Katie, my last question for you is something I like to ask seniors when we have them on. When you graduate, you get that diploma handed to you. There's going to be a lot of things that you've been able to accomplish, whether it be in the school, on the field. What are you going to be most proud of yourself for being able to get done before your high school career was over?
I'm just going to be really proud of myself for always working hard and just never giving up because I've had some rough times and I haven't gave up and I just have a great support system behind me. I want to thank my mom and dad and my brother for always just supporting me and being there for me during hard times and just pushing me to be the best I can be.
Well, we were going to put a spelling bee in front of you because we've had a hell of a time spelling your name over the years. But we'll let you go scot-free on this one because I feel like we're going to talk to you again before the season closes. Katie, thank you so much. Spending some time with us today, stopping and talking about your past, your present, and your future. We're so proud of you. So excited for what life has to hold. And please do not be a stranger to this show. We'd love to have you again.
Thank you, DJ and Anthony, for always supporting girls sports. It's really appreciated.
You got it, kiddo. You make it real easy. So thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Katie Koulianos. She's awesome, man. Like all these kids are unbelievable, but she is so well-spoken. Yeah, I don't think she's going to have any problem with medical sales.
No.
I don't think
No.
she gets up at 4:30. I thought I got up early. She is going to be a force, more than on the softball field, in business and in life. You're going to cross her path. She's going to be successful at whatever she does. Katie,
And that's just her first workout of the day because she does one again after school as well. So work for Katie Koulianos, and there's no better way to get good at your craft than to put in that kind of work for it. Everybody knows that. We could get a spelling bee with all the kids' names who have long last names that we've struggled to spell for the last 4 years. And get like a spelling bee competition going.
I'm trying to think of some other ones right off the top of my head. Okay, here's one. Otis. Can you get it?
Oh, well, I just put up it's O-double-D, right? O-double-D-I-S.
O-double-D-I-S. I'm not sure that I could get Koulianos right now. I think I can't because I always put the extra U in it. But being that I made the graphic and you walked me through it, it's K-O-U-L. Oh, man.
I-A-N-O-S.
I-A?
You always add that extra U at the end. That's where you get caught up. Yeah.
Did I mess it up?
No. You got it right. We walked you through it. You're good.
Okay. I feel like I messed the A in there. Yeah, what are some other ones?
There's one name that I always got wrong, and now I'm blanking on what it was. But it was always frustrating because I was like, I know that name and I can't get it right.
Colin from Heartland Christian. Colin
Callagher.
I was Callagher.
Yeah, that one caught me for a little bit because there was when I worked for YSU for their volleyball team, there was a Callagher. So I'd always, my brain would want to say Callagher with the A at the end, and he is with the E at the end. So that would catch me a couple of times.
Recitar, I always want to replace the middle E with an A. So instead of R-E-S-E-T-A-R, I want to put R-E-S-A-T-A-R.
Oh, you know which one always got me? Costantino from McDonald's.
Oh, yep.
Because my brain says Constantine and puts it in there. Yep. That's
Francis
the one that
Jelly
would always get me.
It took me a minute too. I'm looking at Jimmy. I'm like, dude, your name just absolutely slaughters me. Every single Kayla. See, I still can't get it right. So yeah, I like. There's a lot of it. That'd be a great spelling bee thing for announcers. We'd have the YSN spelling bee.
That's even better. A YSN announcer is trying to spell our guys' last names, guys and gals' last names.
It'd be bad. It would definitely. I mean, if heaven forbid we have another COVID, folks, we have our first game. It's going to be the YSN spelling bee right here, and your last name could make the mark.
And here's the message to the universe: that is in no way, shape, or form YSN wanting another COVID or promoting for another pandemic. No way. We would rather not have that. But we do,
no. If it happens,
hey, we're set.
At this point, it's on the bingo card. Let's be honest, folks.
We know two things. One, we'll never do another Bracomania or whatever we did again, because that was a mess. And we'll do a spelling bee.
Oh, Ty's, you're catching strays from everywhere, Ant. Pretty sure Anthony was saying Pompelia wrong.
Right. But that's pronunciation, not spelling it. I was spelling it right, but I would butcher the pronunciation when Alyssa played for Howland.
What did you say?
It's Pompelia. I would say Pompelia because my brain would go Pompeii from the city that got engulfed by the volcano.
I wouldn't even know where to put that.
Yeah, so I'd be Pompelia, and I would be like, no, that's wrong. Oh, geez.
It's on YSN the Ocho.
Yes.
Oh, that would be. And what's bad is we would get viewers for that. People would tune in just 100%. To see us absolutely fail names. But I
coming up next on the Ocho.
I'm kind of talking myself into this, Anthony. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sitting there. I'm like, this might be a good thing. This could be a good thing. Now Ty's disqualified because he's
a robot.
Yeah, like sorry.
I think we can catch him though. I think we can get him. I'm confident.
Well, anything that's
we just have to do
that's not Fitch, we got a shot.
Anything that's on Fitch, Canfield, or Hoban, or anyone that plays those
Bourne. Can you use it in a sentence? Yes. Kyler Bourne bats fourth for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, we were talking about sleepers. We talked about East Palestine yesterday, but what East Palestine baseball is doing right now inside the EOAC, that's a sleeper.
I mean, I would get labeled as someone who is a homer if I said that. So thank you. I'm proud. Like, it's different. It just hits different whenever it's a program that you came up through that kind of created you. I'm very proud of the coach, Aaron Walker, who is a teammate of mine and a good friend. Proud of what they're doing. It's you can take the boy out of East Palestine, but you can't take the East Palestine out of the boy. And I'll tell you what, man, to watch them, I'm friends with Bryce Franken as well. And I mean, a lot of all these coaches, right? But it's different when it's your team, the same team that you represented. And, they're still not number 31 out there. That jersey's hanging in my basement.
Retired.
Retired. Put them on the wall, folks. That'd be funny if I just created a banner and just hung it in just one banner in the Ace of Diamonds. They just hang it.
You go there like at midnight and you're out there putting a banner up. Don't worry about it.
I know the people at Ace of Diamonds. Don't worry about it. I'm just putting this banner up. Yoku 31. But sir, you're not retired or in the Hall of Fame. I don't remember asking you. You know what I'm going to ask you? How to spell Koulianos. If you could spell that,
then I'll leave right now.
I'm out of here. I'm gone. But no, I'm very proud of the East Palestine baseball program and the softball program for that. I mean, my sister came up through the program as well. So, I mean, yeah, what Clarence Andre's been able to do, with that team is incredible. And we talked to him, he battled through it, and he's got girls that want to be there and that end up coaching after they play. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of great stuff happening in Palestine right now when it comes to diamond sports, and I'm excited for it. Certainly very excited for it. Again, that might be the arms race for them because they've got some decent arms. They're younger, but as long as you got Kale Muraski on the bump, I'm telling you, that kid is a dog. If you haven't seen him pitch, if you haven't seen him play, you need to. He's a very special pitcher. And he leads off too for the Bulldogs in the lineup. So, thinking the same way, I know Aaron very well. He's trying to get Kale as many at bats as he possibly can because he's that devastating to the opposing pitching. So he's a special young man, certainly. And there's a lot of special young men in that lineup that I think this could be a big year for the Bulldogs. It could be a big year. I know United's very good in the EOAC. We'll see. I'm excited, man. It makes me smile, certainly. So, what other sleepers? I mean, what other sleepers? The people out there, we got a lot of people tuning in right now. what sleepers are out there? Who's the team that you want? Like, who would you pay money to go see play baseball or softball right now? Like, you've got to see this team. I'm excited. I'm trying to get on the books for Canfield and Mooney tonight. And if I can pull that off, buddy, like I'm jacked up. I'm jacked up because I think both teams are playing some great baseball right now.
Mm-hmm.
Great baseball. And that's a hot ticket. Probably rather see that than the Pirates and Yankees today, by the way. Pirates stink.
I think in the 8, there's a lot of talk with Lakeview and South Range. They split the conference last year. I don't want to forget about Hubbard in the softball world. They've started to really play well to start the season.
Gerard is
and Gerard. I mean,
Anthony or Todd just said that Gerard's 6-1, almost as many wins they had all last year. I mean, are they going to be a topic of conversation in the NE8 this year?
We're going to find out real quick when they start to play the Poland, Lakeview, and South Ranges of the world. You know, we'll see what Hubbard's made of. We'll see what Gerard's made of real quick. Gerard, a big win last night over McDonald, 14-4. That's a McDonald team that won the conference last year and went to a district championship last year. So that's a big win for Gerard to kind of put their name in that conversation.
How about the McDonald win over Gerard in baseball?
Yeah, in baseball.
That's huge. Huge. Here's a question I have for you. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about this, as not next week, the week after is Myrtle Beach week for a lot of these teams. But, you know, talking to Katie, they already did their Tennessee trip. A lot of these teams already did their spring break trips, but there is a later spring break than normal for most of these clubs. And, you know, you look at what is coming up. How do you think that having a late season spring break, that you're going to a different facility to play, is going to have an effect on the season down the stretch, like when they come back? Because listen, they come back and they're back. Like, you're playing like that Monday. You know, some of these families aren't coming back. Maybe they leave Saturday. Some of these families try to stretch an extra day of vacation for that Sunday and then, you know, come back on Monday. What does that do this late in the season? If you've already got some games under your belt, like, you know, we talked about South Range and Canfield and Fitch, how is this going to affect them?
One of the things that I think is going to be interesting is the fact that it's so late in the season means when you come back, you have really important games right when you get back. I mean, South Range is going to hit the ground running, and they're going to be fighting for a conference championship when they get back. And Austintown Fitch is probably going to have the same kind of thing softball wise. When they come back, they're going to be hitting the ground and say, hey, we have conference championship level type games right when we get back from the beach. Not saying that the early games in years past weren't important. Every game's important and it goes towards your record, but you had a little bit more wiggle room when you came back from the beach in years past. Now you come back and it's like you got 2 weeks before tournament time and you have conference championships on the line. That's it. I think that's going to be a little bit different on how they navigate the games down there, because we talked to Jeff DeRose before the season started. You know, the Myrtle Beach trips in the past when it came to softball were about trying to find the lineup and trying to find who's going to come up in these big situations and who's going to be the ones he can rely on for the rest of the season. Right. That's already going to be decided when they go to Myrtle Beach. Like, Jeff DeRose is going to know where everyone kind of is going to be their strength, where they're best at. That's going to be figured out when they get to the beach. So now it's going to be a little bit of a different the way he manages games down in Myrtle Beach than years past, and every coach down there. Just Jeff DeRose, because we talked about him. You talked about that with him personally in his coach's corner. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of shift their way of managing the games down in Myrtle Beach.
So I guess the proper follow-up question is, do you think things are a little bit tighter down there? Because usually it's a loose atmosphere. You know, hey, we're just getting this season started. We're just happy to be playing games. And now to your point, you've already established kind of your lineup. You've already established, who's varsity JV. And, oh, by the way, when we get back, it is we talked about business trips earlier. It is a business trip, I think, this trip down to Myrtle Beach, because you got to stack wins. You've got to get almost a launch pad to when you come back to Ohio or Pennsylvania or wherever it may be and get going. Because, I mean, you could be swinging a hot bat and then all of a sudden you go down to Myrtle Beach and things fall off, or vice versa. It could be,
Mhm.
the weather could be affecting your bat. Things heat up, the bat expands a little bit, and you start popping home runs. I don't know, Ant. I'm really interested to see how this plays out, because at the end of the day, we're used to being down there when things are just getting started and everybody's just happy to be playing. I think really, really, really think that there's going to be a business mentality of the bash at the beach this year.
And the thing that's going to be hard on these coaches is they still have to make it a trip that also does everything that it does off the field for these teams that is important. Building chemistry, building the bonds between the teams, having the players be able to stay in the same hotel room together and have that kind of moments where they get to get closer as a unit. But at the same time, like you said, it's not as happy-go-lucky as it was in the past. There's going to be a lot of tightness, especially depending on how the last couple games before that trip go. I mean, you imagine if you lose a couple before you go to the beach, and now you're sitting like, okay, but when we get back, we're in a lot of trouble. Like, we have to win games. So we have to make sure we can't lose confidence at this beach. If you go to the beach and you hit really good teams and lose a couple, and now you come off the beach and you're on like a 4-game losing streak, now you go into really serious games that mean a lot.
I showed Rick. He was so happy this morning.
What does that do to a team's morale? That's going to be really interesting too.
We just had a comment said just joined up, was going through the Struthers Max preps, and this team is looking pretty legit. Yeah, we talked about Struthers a little bit earlier. Certainly for I'm assuming they're talking baseball.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good teams here. And
I would recommend going through their game changer though. That Max Preps might have some guys that played 3 years ago.
Juice might actually be on the roster. So
Tommy Otto looks really good.
Tommy Otto 6 times on that roster. I'll take all of them. But I think that, one of the things we were looking at, like Cheney with a big win.
Yeah.
Last night. And that was 16-12.
16-12.
And you look at that and you go, okay, hey, they're turning heads.
Mm-hmm.
They're turning heads. If Cheney becomes a powerhouse in baseball, or just a team that is formidable, which I think they've become, what do we got going, man? We got great baseball happening, and it goes to show we have some of the best baseball and softball players in the country right here in Northeast Ohio, right here in this region, right here on this network. It is impressive to say the least. And we're just honored to be able to cover it on a daily basis and do what we do, man. Do what we do. Apparently not enough, but I'd rather someone say they want more than they want less of YSN. So, hey, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Final thoughts on this before we get to the Spark?
This next week or week and a half, we're going to start to see some conference matchups that are going to be, if we get games in, fingers crossed. We have some conference matchups coming up in the next week that are going to be big ones. So when you're talking about, really wanting to get excited about baseball and softball, this is the week. Like, if you're not in it yet, you better get in it this week.
Those South Range Lakeview games, man,
yeah.
Those are back pocket games. I'm interested to see when and just when those games are going to be played. Do you keep those for the end of the season?
In a perfect world, yeah, because those would be the two favorites to come out of the league. We've talked about the sleepers, but those are the favorites. So in a perfect world, you'd love to have a repeat of last year where those two end the season with the 2 games back to back, and that's those could be games that decide the conference. But I think at this point, you can't really be beggars choosers. You got to just say, hey, when we can fit them in, we got to fit them in at this point. You can't take days for granted. Not in this weather.
But I think they're going to play at the end of the season. If I was a betting man, and I am. Not on this.
With Skittles.
Not on this. I'm not betting on this. We got an I love you guys. We love you too. We have no idea. I also don't know what your profile picture is, and it makes me nervous. So I'm just going to acknowledge Sweet 32 Willie N. On YouTube. We appreciate you and we love you. We love all you.
Blurry, out of focus.
I'm made me nervous when I pulled it up. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, that's not appropriate, but I don't know. I don't know. So we will find out. Before we get to the what's your spark? as we do each and every day, we want to thank our sponsors that make this program possible for all of you and for both of us. By the way, it's people like Greg Greenwood and Greenwood Chevrolet. Anthony, wouldn't you agree?
I would absolutely agree. It is car care month here in the month of April, and Greenwood Chevrolet has one of the best service departments in the area. If your car or truck is in the need of some service, some loving, some elbow grease, make sure to take it down to Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They'll take care of it. They'll also go the extra mile for you, which is what we try to do on this show and on this network every single day. We try to follow their lead as great sponsors of this show and this network. We try to go the extra mile for our athletes and our communities and our families here at YSN. So make sure that you go to Greenwood Chevrolet if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle today.
I had a great idea that I think we're going to launch here next week that I got, like backgrounds. Mm-hmm. So you see our brick background. So we're going to do a Greenwood background, and then we're going to do a Toyota of Warren background to give them some extra love. Speaking of Toyota of Warren and love, I love Toyota of Warren. It's that simple. The way that they treat me, the way that I feel when I walk in, I'm not pressured. Literally they're inviting you to go to their showroom, grab a beverage, a pop, a coffee, and then relax, watch some TV, watch some Price is Right. Seemingly is always on whenever I'm in there, or the Today Show. So, it's one of those things, like, I love being where I'm wanted, and nobody wants you more than their friends at Toyota of Warren, because they have some great deals going on right now. Head on over to Toyota of Warren for a new or used car, or a vehicle for, I'll tell you what, a lot of chatter, a lot of blotter in the news nowadays. So it might be in your best interest to go grab a vehicle that is made in America, and they're proud to do it. There's different factories all over the country, and we're excited. So we know that we love Toyota of Warren. That's all I know. I love my truck. My wife loves her 4Runner, and we are excited to be a Toyota family. So join the Toyota family at Toyota of Warren today. Tell Tino and the whole crew over there that YSN sent you. All right. It is the YSN. YSN? Oh my gosh. It is the Joe Dickey Electric. What's Your Spark on YSN. And you can visit Joe Dickey anytime on the web, 24/7, 365 at DickeyElectric.com. Antonio, what is your spark?
Man, TGIF. It's a sunny day right now, and I'm looking outside. It's going to be in the 60s, and we've talked about the weather a lot on this show. We're not meteorologists, but one of the things I know about Northeast Ohio is when it gets a day like this, where it's a little bit warmish and it's sunny out, you can't take it for granted. So I'm happy that we have some sun today, and we're going to be going out and getting some softball and baseball in. I'm going to be in Maplewood for the first time, so we're going to have Maplewood softball have the YSN debut against Badger. That's going to be fun. DJ, I know you're trying to get out to Canfield and Cardinal Mooney, so let's have some baseball, softball today. Let's check it out, ysnlive.com/live.
And if you Saxa subs decide at the last minute that you're going to cancel games, and I have to answer to my wife tonight, boy, are you going to be in trouble. Boy, are you going to be in trouble. No, I mean, you talked about meteorology. I want to give a shout out to the meteorologists that are doing this hard job. And people, well, you're only right 50% of the time and you still keep your job. Imagine if I did that. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. If it weren't for these great meteorologists like my dear friend Andrew DiPaolo, we would have no by God clue what is happening, because I can't read a radar. I don't know about you guys, but these great folks went to school for it, and they are letting us know when it is cold, when it is snowing, when it is raining, when it is sunny, and a lot of that comes in the same day. And I also like to thank the person who just started up the vacuum as I was doing my spark. God bless you all. Have a great weekend.
Yes, he's not an Andrew DiPaolo fan.
I'm starting to think they're not a DJ Yokley fan. That's where I'm at. This has been a great broadcast brought to you by the Yokley Scott Corporation, LLC, also known as Your Sports Network. That is Anthony Ronald Hartwig. My name is DJ Yokley. We will see you on Monday right here on YSN Live. Peace be with you, Anthony. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.